a situation with Michi. Michi came out and joined Vishojo, like one of my favorite absolute VTubers at this point with her visuals. I love her. But she came out and talked about the situation where her taxes was kind of completely ruined by Niji Sanji. And I kind of want to look at it now. Niji Sanji has been on fire very much recently. There's been a lot of controversy after controversy after controversy. I'm kind of interested to see what she has to say, because I feel like that company can't really take any more for like situation going their direction. So we got to see what's going on.
Right? Like,
but yeah, by the way, before we get into this video, make sure you like this video itself. And if you enjoy these kind of reaction videos, make sure you subscribe. Click the subscribe button. I would love to see more of you.
I'm very aware of this, so I try to be very careful with my money. Thankfully, I can say like this is very self-centered, but I'm relieved to say that I have never once really had to suffer too much. I did have one issue that put me in a really bad place. Because this was my first
sucks, yeah,
and hopefully last financial problem I've ever really encountered because of like
going Abe. What a good day, dude.
Right, like, because keep in mind, I am insanely paranoid about this.
I think taxes, like the worst thing is that people don't learn about taxes in high school. Like, I remember when I dipped out of high school and dipped out, like when I was done with high school and I had got some income and I had to learn about taxes. I'm like, what is this? Like, taxes sucks. Nobody learns about it. You have to learn about it yourself. And whenever you get into it, it's still confusing. So whenever somebody screws up your tax form or you have issues with taxes, it's just a nightmare.
So
we did it when I was in school. We didn't do it there.
And here's like a little story. Please do not, like, I know some people will speculate and shit. Like, I just want you to know it's already over. It's in the past. No speculating. It's just something that a story that I can finally tell, right?
You can finally get her off her chest.
I have been working since I was like 14, 15. Like, I've always worked. You know? Okay, good chat. Good. Okay. So I've always worked ever since I was younger. So the moment I turned 18, I immediately applied for, like, you know, my like my taxes, right? That's like a tax number is I think what it's called. I forgot. But I immediately applied for that, even though my income wasn't enough to pay taxes. It's just like,
okay,
just to be safe, right? I know I act like a gremlin and shit, like I act like an asshole, but I really do not want to go to jail. So I've immediately had, like,
I can see why.
Yeah, tax registration number. So basically I registered myself into like all this shit because in my country it's not automated. You have to like sort it out and then go to the office,
US, right?
IRL, have like the meetings, they take your picture, etc., to apply, right? So yes, there are plus and minuses of that system that I won't talk about because it is a little bit political, and I'm not gonna talk about that because I don't know. All I know
she was
is
from
I'm
US.
a good citizen. I am a good law-abiding citizen that I've always paid my taxes the moment I turned 18. So when I
am glad that a lot of it is automated from my here. So I have to go through it every time, but a lot of it is automated. So if I fuck up, they fix it for me.
18 to around 20. Yeah, 18 to 20. I didn't earn enough to pay my taxes, so thankfully I didn't have to go through that. But I was very aware of how the system worked, right? Because I was, unironically, I was so scared of like going to jail for like tax evasion or some shit.
I don't want to do taxes.
Like,
nobody want to do their taxes.
You know, like, I accidentally don't know how to file my taxes, and boom, I'm done for. So I tried my best to learn everything. But the moment I turned like around 20, that's when I started getting like a job, right? Like I got an office job.
She started becoming an adult.
And I started earning a little bit more. But I still have to pay taxes. Not a fuck ton.
Yeah.
But a little bit more. Like, at that time, I think I earned around, like, full transparency, around $600 a month. And that's insane. Because that was like a fresh grad thing, right? As a fresh grad, earning $600 a month is insanely huge. Or like $500 a month. I don't know the conversion rates. But you need to earn around $300 a month to not pay taxes. If you earn anything above it, you pay taxes. TLDR, right? So I think the tax system in Indonesia is easier to understand. It's just annoying to file. Like every other thing, it's just annoying to file and report. But it's easy to understand once you get the hang of it. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the scambership. Welcome. But yeah, I earned around 500 to 600. I don't know the dollars. I think 6 juta. I don't know what 6 juta is. You know, let me convert it. IDR to USD. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oh shit! I lied. I earned 369 USD. At that time, I'm pretty sure it was around 400 to 500. Okay, but conversions are bad. Okay,
easy.
But now I earned $369 a month, which is huge for me at that time. Okay, I was flexing a little with that amount of cash. And then, well, it wasn't like life-changing, but I could survive, so that's good. That's all I cared about. As long as I don't die, I'm good.
I feel like I have had that mindset for so long. Like, personally, I don't really care about having like a lot of money. I just want to pay my bills and buy food. As long as I live, I'm happy. As long as I don't have to worry, I'm happy. It's nice to get also like a little bit extras. You can put it on the side if you want to buy games or buy new things in your apartment or something like that. You want to save up to go on a vacation or something. I don't know. Like, that's fine as well, but I don't really care that much. So as long as I survive, that's good enough. 400 a month in YouTube now, honestly, it's really nice. It's good play money. Yeah, that's nice.
With it. So I started filing my taxes. So ever since, like, basically the government has a record that I have always like been a law-abiding citizen, right? I always pay my taxes. I always do my reports. Everything's good and dandy. Until I worked in a different job.
Ooh, we might get into it.
And basically, here in my country, I don't know if it's very common all over the world, but for Indonesia, there is an option where your company files your taxes for you and they pay your taxes for you. That is a very, very common practice, right?
Yeah, very common here as well.
You have to be employed under them, though. So what they do is, let's say they give you a fixed amount, like, okay, every month I will give you 500 USD, right? Every month I'll give you 500 USD, but I will take 10% out of that to pay for your taxes. Yeah, tapi tetap harus lapor. Yeah, but you still have to report.
There's nothing like that here. They're automated in the sense that the like your boss have to do your taxes, or you have someone doing your taxes there. But they're not taking a percentile for doing your taxes. And if they do your tax, if there's like a situation where you pay too much tax or pay too little tax, well, the people managing the like taxes here at least are at the end of the year, they're going to do a correction of it and either give you more back money or you need to pay back more. So regardless, it doesn't really matter.
Report it. You still have to report your taxes and everything, but you don't have to pay it outside of your own card. Like, the employer kind of sorts it out for you, and that's good and dandy. Like, that is a choice, right? I don't know if it's common. Is it common, chat? Do you guys have that? Like, for those of you that are not
model is wild.
Indo,
there's a lot of things going on in our model. And
Intuit stops us from doing that. Oh, really? Yeah. Yes. It's common. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's not like a super weird thing. No. Same in Philippines. Right. Okay. So you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So basically, your income is like a fixed rate. You don't have to stress about paying anything by the end of the year. The company does it, but you still have to file it, right? So
everybody has to do it, yeah.
During this time, because
I wish it was like that in the US. Yeah, in the US, you have to do a lot more work. I know that you have to do it yourself, but here is like completely automated in many ways. And thank God, because like taxes are scary. I think about that in US. Like, if you fuck up, you might be sent to jail. Like, hello? I think that is a worrisome thing. But here in my country, at least, you don't have to worry about that, because if you fuck up, they'll fix it for you.
my earnings was not a fixed rate.
Like, the IRS should fix it. The IRS in US shouldn't threaten you about like things. They should just solve it for you. Like, that's the thing. But maybe people will be lazy or something, but in the end of the day, that's their job, isn't it?
So it's like, sometimes on good days I earn more, bad days I don't. Like, it's not a fixed rate.
Not yours? Well, anyways, if you work, let's say, independent, or you own your own company and you fuck up your taxes, like, let's say that, the people managing taxes, the one taking in the taxes, still will fix it for you.
they did offer to just take a certain percentage, right? They say they'll take a
The IRS knows how much you owe, then why the fuck would you have to calculate yourself? Exactly. Why would you know? Why can't they just say it? If they know.
To pay.
Like, that's the thing about America. It seems a little bit weird. Why is living so complicated? Because living life is complicated, but it depends. Like, guys, so life is as complicated as you make it. Like, in the end, life can be really simple. You can have a super simple life as long as you don't overly think about, like, overly worry about stuff. As long as you can live, as long as you pay yourself. If you have a job, just do your own thing, and like, it's fine. It's not really that complicated in the end of the day.
For the taxes.
Ask Asman. He works for IRS, and he doesn't even do his taxes. He pays someone to do it.
Big saver for me, because for so long I've only ever needed to like copy paste my income and then my expenses and stuff like that, and it's like easy, you know. Yeah, back to the story a little with the taxes thing, right? It was I was very grateful that they offered to basically pay the taxes for me. Like, that was still an option, because that way I don't have to worry too much on, you know, like all the, like, I would rather overpay tax than underpay tax. That's the kind of person I am. I would much rather give the government more money, because first of all, paying taxes is a good thing. I know people are like, yeah, taxes, but that's how your country works, and you want to support it, and I want to support it. So I would much rather overpay a little
Thank you
bit,
for
right?
Gifted, man.
So we had a whole system set up, and basically for like
You're so
2
kind.
years,
Thank you, man. I appreciate it so much.
I never spent any money out of my own wallet.
Oh, wait, you should write that off your taxes. I don't know if you can do that. Can you do that? No, you can't do that because it's not really a business expense. I think that is funny, like how you can write off things as a business expense on taxes. Like, that is really funny.
To pay the tax, I did send I did file them, but I never really spent money because
Thank you, dude.
every month they took 10% anyways for my taxes, right? And like, that's what we discussed, and it was written
Side hustles
even
and
that it's like,
V2
oh yeah, they
job and like
money
50 hours a year doing taxes.
for taxes. It's not like, oh, it's just a verbal thing. You don't know if they did. They did. There's written proof
A lot of time
that they did. So I never really spent any money out of my own wallet because it's already deducted.
Right, Asman writing his gotcha pulls of stream taxes because he's does it on stream. Yeah, it's part of the content. It's part of his expenses. Same with the food. Like, the thing is that content creators have a lot of way to like remove things from their taxes, because like that's how the law works. I mean, it is a business expense. Their entertainment is a business expense, and they're their own corporate owners, so they can choose what they are paying for their own employees, which are themselves. It's just a little bit of kind of loophole.
TLDR, 2 years later, I got sent a letter from my local government that I have actually been avoiding taxes. And they were
really?
like, onto my...
Oh, we're finally getting into it.
Yes, they were like, hey, by the way, you haven't paid your taxes in 2 years.
Two years? How long was she in Niji-sanji? What?
And according to your report, you have earned a significant amount compared to your last paid taxes. And you are late by like 2 years, so we will have to add interest fees.
Oh my god.
And that's when I start shitting myself a little bit, because I was like, what do you mean I haven't paid?
Is that not a massive lawsuit? I know, Tulio, I know you know law within just Sweden, but like, brother, that sounds like a wild lawsuit.
Have paid, and
they didn't pay her taxes for 2 years? What did they do? They ran off with the money.
What? And in the paper it said, if you do not sort your shit in a week, we will have to bring you to court.
Oh my god.
And as you can tell, I am insanely paranoid.
Poor her.
Like, I am very paranoid about going to jail.
Dude,
I'd
freak out as well. I get that.
Money.
Oh no.
So now the fact that it's...
I hate money talk. If Michi is like me, I hate money talk. I don't want to talk about money. Like, money is such a a thing I don't want to think about. Like, I live a simple life. I just don't want to talk about money. And if it's like a situation where you owe money, my mom is always like, she taught me while I was growing up, she didn't want me to borrow anything. She didn't want to take anything. So even like whenever I'm like getting gifted or donuts or anything, I'm still like, appreciate it, but I don't know how to respond. But in general, like, I don't want to talk about money. And if I did some taxes stuff and they're like, you owe us money, I'll probably freak out. I mean, I'll pay them thingies, but it's still a very uncomfortable conversation to be had.
Money and jail. I shat myself. Like, I had such a mental mind break, dude. I freaked out so hard. But at that time, I was like, oh, it's probably a misunderstanding, right? Like, maybe it's a misunderstanding. So I contacted, like, one of my friends' dad is a lawyer. So I asked them for advice. I was like, hey, what should I do? I'm pretty sure it's a misunderstanding. I know I've paid my taxes. I have proof that I got, like, money deducted every month, specifically under the category of tax. So I know I have.
So she got her report and it said it deducted to tax and they didn't pay the taxes. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm a good law-abiding citizen and my track record's clean. So I was so fucking scared, dude.
For $3.33. I like your yapping much more than your gaming stream.
What do you mean? I'm so good at games. But yeah, I was like, I'm very sure it was a misunderstanding. And I try to calm myself down from that because, like, you know, I don't want to freak out too much if it's not something that big of a deal, right? So I did, you know, like, my friend's dad helped me, like, write stuff up and basically, like, to tell the government, like, my local government, to be like, hey, misunderstanding happened. Like, what can I do to resolve this misunderstanding? So I sent it to them, and then they came back to me 3 days later, basically being like, okay, send us proof of, like, when you file taxes, you get like a code, right? Like, it's a code that says that you did file it, and it's not just like, oh, I said I did. Like, there is a code when you transfer money. So they're like, okay, send us like all the transfer, like, proof, like the code of proof that you actually did transfer the money. So I was like, okay, I can just ask my employer, right? So I asked them, I was like, hey, I need all of this. Like, it's a whole list. It's a lot. It's a lot because it's been 2 years, like 2 years backlog. But I was like, okay, I need this. Here is the, like, I even included all the files attached. I was like, here's all the files I'm referring to. This is, like, I think there was, like, genuinely, like, 28 files that I had to make, like, by myself. And I sent it to them, and I was like, hey, this is the thing. Like, I just, you know, I just need, like, the funny little numbers, right?
The
and
funny
all my
little
Can
you share it with me?
And that's when I found out.
Tell us.
I did not know this. I was not aware of this. And to be fair, no one really made me aware of this either. But I don't know if it's... I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not pointing fingers. If anything, I did blame myself for not researching. But apparently, those are not my taxes. Those are their taxes.
Now, why in the hell would that be on your report? Why would Niji Sanji's taxes be on your like payment report? It's employment tax. Shouldn't he? But why would they report it? I have never in my life received a payment report. And the taxes are talking about the employment report, like employment tax for me. It's always my tax that they pay from my salary to the government.
Till today, I still don't get it fully, so I'm not gonna go deep into it. I didn't get it. Like, I was a bit confused, but I was like, wait, if that's the case, then why are you taking it from my cut?
Yeah, why are you taking it from her cut, Niji Sanji? Why?
So I was like, I don't know. I don't get it. I asked and they didn't really respond, so I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't have time to...
They didn't even respond. That's not like a whatever, Michi!
Stress, right? Because, like, now I know that I actually have been accidentally avoiding taxes.
The situation is still there, but the point is that if there's a reason... Like, the thing is that you can redirect it to them.
as an accident, like pure. It was a misunderstanding, I guess, from my part. And
No.
the issue is,
Dude, she is so nice. She says it's a misunderstanding from her part. No, this is not a common practice. If anybody is in a country where this is a common practice, please tell me now. Like, I've never heard of this in my life. I've never received a payment check. And it tells me the employment tax. It always showed the tax the company's taking from my payment, from my salary to the government. Why would they also take your earnings and use that for employment tax? That doesn't make sense.
because I didn't pay for 2 years, so that's like an accumulative sum of 2 years, and I also
2 years.
was late
2 years.
by a year and 1 to 2 years. I had interest fees. The amount of money I owed was more than what I had in my savings account and what I had in my normal account combined. Like, I actually did not physically have that much money.
Oh my god.
I couldn't pay. Not because I didn't want to. I did
That's a
not
scam?
have that money anymore.
Listen, I'm not a lawyer, but this sounds very illegal in my country. This sounds very illegal. I'm not from Indonesia, so I don't know what their laws are, but this is not legal in Japan. Does that help somebody?
Right? It's been years and there's interest fees, and the interest fees is monthly. So I was like,
If this
shit,
sounds like they intentionally scammed her, it does.
I'm fucked. Like
Like
I didn't
fraud,
have any cash.
yeah.
I literally do not have cash. So I shat myself a little. I have never once even made that much money, I feel like. So I told people, I was like, hey,
You know, when
help?
you hear about this, how much more do you think they have like stolen money from their employees? And somebody said to me, don't join a corp. Don't join corpo. Hell no, man. Corpo seemed like scam.
help me, like, you know, hook me up with
Jesus.
an accountant maybe, or like an actual lawyer. Like,
Yeah, you
a
need an
lawyer and
actual lawyer for
accountant.
this.
I need help because I've never been in this situation before. Like,
Hmm.
I've always been so good at preventing it that now that I have to like fix it, I don't know what to do. So I was like, I need help to, you know, do you have any contacts, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no. They're like, no,
If
sorry.
a company would pull this shit here, our tax office would say, you are okay, sue the company. Yeah, I think that's the case, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, I think that is basically the case. Because they would earn a lot of money from suing them, because this is like such a plain case.
Like, good luck though. So I spent literally the whole day contacting as many people as I could. Thankfully,
Lawsuit
though,
for
like, I'm so
damage,
grateful.
yeah.
My friend's dad, he doesn't know, like, he's a lawyer, but not for this. So he connected me to his firm buddies. So I got help. Oh, thank God. I'm so grateful for my friend's
you
dad
got
until
help.
today. He basically hooked me up with his firm buddies, and one of his firm buddies has an accountant. So I explained everything. Like, I ran over to their place and I explained everything in details. Like, here's the issue. Like, here's all the proof to show you that I'm not lying. Like, I'm not trying to evade the taxes on purpose. It's a misunderstanding. I thought that this percentage that they take from my income was for my taxes, right? Because all they
I wonder if she had any other friends that could like explain it to her, or ask her other Niji Sanji friends. Like, and ask for references, like, did this happen to you as well? Like, cause what if they're like, listen, hey, listen, what if she talks to, for example, a former Niji Sanji employee, and they said that tax report actually paid her taxes, and it was only a situation for Michi where they didn't actually, they just stole her money.
wrote was tax. but I didn't know that it was not for my taxes, but for their taxes. I don't fucking know. I don't get it. This is what they said. I don't understand. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking
Scammer
out.
lore beginning.
And they're like, okay. They kind of like went through it. They went through all of my report sheet. They went through everything. And then they contacted the government and they explained my situation. And I was like, listen, I don't care if I have to like spend money over time. I just don't want to go to jail. Like, I'm so scared of going to jail. And during this time, now I can talk about it like super lightheartedly. But at that time, chat, I felt so stressed because I didn't have anyone. Like, I didn't have anyone to help me aside from like, I was literally living from the kind graces of my friend's dad. And it's not like I was best friends with this person. It's just like my friend's dad, a person that I used to know dad, like that kind of person. So I was so scared. And it was a really hard time because like, it feels like all my paranoia was justified. Like, I was like, I knew it. I was so paranoid. I was so careful just for me to fuck up anyways. And it's like, I shat myself, right? It was really bad. But then we talked about, we had a meeting, everything was good. And they're like, okay, let's discuss it. We'll you know, describe our situation and maybe we can get leniency. Thankfully, we did get some leniency. So the government did accept the fact that like, okay, maybe this was a misunderstanding on my part. Like, the fact that like my record was clean, I guess, helped a lot in the situation because they're like, okay, we did research on like your past and your history. You've never really had any problems with the law and you've always like filed your taxes properly. So we believe.
And if you paid all your bills as well, all of these things help out a lot. When it comes to loan or any situation like this, if you have some back end history where you've just been like, you know, you're doing your thing, you're doing as good as you can. Like, in the end of the day, they're going to understand it and see it's fine.
That this is a misunderstanding.
Sorry if my ears are going crazy. It's getting dark. I need to turn on light after this.
However, you still do owe the money. So the most they could do is they removed all interest fees. So I didn't have to pay the overwhelming interest fee. And
Thank
when
God.
I tell you the interest fee was insane, it was 150% more than what I owe them. Like, if I owe them $50, I had to pay $150.
Jesus.
$100 was like genuinely just interest. Like, it was so bad because I've been, you know, I haven't paid for like 2 years. So I guess that's why like it accumulated so much. So that was already a
Dude, they
massive
nearly
relief.
royally screwed her.
But it was still a high number, right? I don't know how much percent, but it was huge. Like, the moment they're like, okay, we're not gonna charge you for the interest fees because we assume that you didn't mean any, like, you didn't mean any harm. You have good intentions. We will remove your interest. And immediately, like, the number got cut in half. Like, genuinely, the number got cut in half. And I was so scared for so long. I think that was the first time I genuinely, like, realized that I was breathing. Because
Jeez.
this is not me exaggerating.
Must be so much
like,
stress.
I was all alone. No one could have helped me. I didn't know anyone that could help me. The only people that could...
Like, if anybody's if you're young and you're gonna get into taxes and stuff, just ask your parents. Like, I had to ask my mom, and I still, even to this day, I still ask my mom, like, hey, can you, like, do you have an idea about this? Because, like, in the end of the day, like, it's just best to call someone or talk to either your parents or call someone that knows about this.
But know who they are. And I don't know what to do. Like, I was so freaked out. And thankfully, half of it went away. Because they're
I
like,
think the shoujo has some form of relationship with Niji Sanji. So it would really look really bad for them if they did that, though, given. I just have a feeling that's the case.
And but there's still money to pay, and I thankfully I could still pay it. But the thing is, chat, it was so much for that time. Like, I think for 6 months after that happened, I was so, like, scared. I tried my best not to act scared or anything, but I was so scared because I did not have health insurance. I had to liquefy all my insurance. My life insurance, health insurance. I didn't have any savings. And I literally only had like $300 left.
I think it's insane how they keep on getting away with this. They keep on doing all of these illegal things. Is it because they're working with young talents? I think it is because they're working with young talents. It is wild how many illegal things this company has been doing.
After I liquefied everything, I only had $300 left.
They royally fuck you.
And
it absolutely ruins your life.
I was so scared
Like,
because I have
that's
a lot
the
of
thing. Like, these things ruin your life. Like, actually. Now, she's managed to salvage it, but think about someone random. Someone not in her, like, upstanding position right now. It ruins your life.
health problems, right? And having health insurance is something that, like, it just gives me a lot of peace in my heart to know that, like, in case something bad happens and I have to go into surgery, I'm not going to go into debt,
scammed.
right? So I was so scared, and the fact that I had to, like, liquefy everything I had to pay this, I felt so scared for the next 6 months. I think that genuinely affected me so much because I was like, oh my god, I'm literally walking on the thinnest rope right now. Like, one fuck up and I'm done. Like, for those 6 months, every time I got sick, I literally was like, no, I can't afford to be sick. Unironically, I cannot afford to be sick. I don't have shit.
Listen, a lot of people have that life, okay? There's a lot of people that have that life.
I was like, no.
Unfortunately.
I didn't go to a doctor's checkup for 6 months. Like, I didn't go to any of my checkups. I couldn't go into my therapy either. But thankfully, my therapist understood my situation, so they didn't charge me for the therapy bills. They only charged me for the meds. He's so nice. Like, he knows me already, so he's like, it's fine. Like, we'll just give you a prescription until you can, as long as you're okay. You know, like, as long as you're fine. Scam train, yippee!
I am surprised. Now, the shoujo is super nice, but I feel like I would be paranoid joining another org. Like, maybe it's because she's so used to it being between an org in this entertainment industry, but I don't know. Like, this is wild. Like, that's a lot of stress for no reason at all.
So, yeah, like, at that time, though, I didn't have anyone. I was so scared. I was shat myself. You're getting scammed on purpose. What's going on here? What is happening? Yo, the scam redeems! My good god! Thank you for the bits amongst the scam redeems. Worth. You know you're getting nothing for the scam redeems, right? Hype train equals scam train. Yippee!
Scam train. I remember actually when Twitch introduced hype train, everybody just called it scam train.
Oh yes, scam train.
I like hype trains. I don't know.
What have this done?
Something at least going on.
It was an interesting learning curve. Ever since then, I am now very, very, very cautious of everything.
Good.
Like,
that's life. Unfortunately.
That was a hard time. Like, for those 6 months, there were so many times I got so sick. Like, I think the worst time was I had a really hard time breathing. Like, I don't know why, but I had a really hard time breathing, but I couldn't go to the hospital. So, like, I just had to keep wheezing. Like, I just be like like that for like a couple of weeks.
Oh my god.
And then it went away, thankfully. I took like pain meds. That's kind of it. I don't know if it was an anxiety attack or like, I don't know, but it was so long. But yeah, good old times. At least you learn, you know? I feel like during that time, I matured so fast. Like, I thought I was mature back then, but because of all that issue, I matured like so fast. Like, instantly matured.
Disturbing.
Thank you for the gifted!
You got scammed, as there is no way you should be paying company taxes. I'm glad you got out of this situation now and all better.
Yeah, that is insane.
I felt kind of bad a little bit because before I went to Bishoujo, I had to ask them like in details, like, okay, what do you cover? What do you not cover?
Stress develops you very fast. Stress ruins your entire body. Listen, my last job stressed me so much, I was balding. I felt like I had migraines 2 times a month. It was awful, man. Like, stress is the only thing that will ruin your entire health and your physical appearance. It's the worst thing for your mentality. It's the worst thing for your body. It's the quick killer. I remember when I had hair. Luckily, I quit that job and stopped stressing, and it's grown really, really well back. But yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe if you stop stressing, Given, you take it easy. Go to Bahamas for a month. Maybe you'll come back with like luscious hair. I don't know. Like, I don't. Stress is awful, and the worst part is that it really does suck whenever it's your job that you depend on that is stressing you out. It really does. Too late for me.
No more misunderstandings. Thank you for the scam, for the sub. Welcome to the
Wow.
scammership. Welcome.
I love how she just calls it a scam.
Hey, I'm just glad I made it out alive.
Scam
chat.
people.
Thankfully, though, good news. Now
10
I
scams
do
to
have my health
people.
insurance back. I have a lot of stuff, not as much as I used to,
For
but
15 years. Yeah, that
something's
sucks,
better
dude.
than nothing, and I'm not as afraid anymore. To be
Yeah.
fair. So
Yeah,
I
that
do
will
have
do
life
it.
insurance.
Like,
but
I stressed for like over a year, right? If you stress for 15 years, my God.
bad news, I have not sorted my health insurance, but I do have a life insurance, so that's pretty good. That's really good. Same thing. Same
Nice.
thing. Right? I think
Maybe it's from
in-
V-Shoujo.
At least the thing I have, life insurance, it covers more of like the more threatening bills, which is something I was more worried about.
I have a lot of insurances. Insurances are high important.
They'll never notice it's not their tax.
Remember the
that's
other
the
thing
thing,
that
like-
caused your stress?
I'm glad that
No,
it
I actually
didn't-
don't
I didn't
remember.
get into that deep
And I'm
shit
glad.
because like I don't know. I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as it could have been, right?
The Danish company? Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just annoying. That wasn't really stress. That was just really, really annoying. I bought this, yeah, I bought this I bought this motherboard, this gigabyte motherboard from a Danish like computer company. They sent it to me. It was broken. I connected it. It had two faulty things with it. I returned it. I didn't take a picture. I returned it, and somehow they tell me I cannot get I have to pay for it. I'm not getting a refund because the pins are chipped. Now, they're not even looking at the two faulty parts. They're ignoring it every time I mention it. And they're saying the pins are chipped. And I'm like, wow, how did the pin chip? Their pins weren't chipped whenever I sent it. Now I wonder why. They probably chipped, like they fucking ruined the pins themselves. And then I had to go through nearly a court case with them. Bent. Pins are... Yeah, they were like broken, bent, whatever. I don't give a shit. But regardless, I nearly got into a court case with them for like nearly a year because they were so stubborn about it. I never gave them money. They just put my whole like invoice on hold. And they kind of gave up after they realized that I would literally go to court with them. So they gave up.
Like yeah, like at least it's not
I'm
that
just
bad.
being stubborn.
Yeah,
How
everything
much
is
was the
sorted.
keyboard?
I'm
It wasn't a keyboard. It was a motherboard. A motherboard. It was like... I don't know. How much? It was like 2 years ago. The most expensive motherboard. Like one of the most. It was probably like... No, it was $500, I think. 500 euros, something like that. 5 or 400. No, 400. 400 was it. I think it was 400. Something like that. Yeah, 400. I know that the Asus one I bought was much more. Because I was like, I always buy Asus. And when I buy Asus, everything is fine. I try once to try something new like Gigabyte. And it was faulty. On two parts, by the way. There were two different things that were faulty on it. I did a report with someone and just checked it because I couldn't get it to work.
still trying to sort out the health thing because the issue with health insurance is they will give you a health checkup. And it really depends on...
And the worst part is that they try to ignore the two faulty parts. Like, they was ignoring them specifically and talking about the bent chips instead. Like,
You know, like how healthy you are. Like, if you're sick, then big chance they're not going to give you that much. So, or like you have to pay more, right? Like, you have to pay more if you're like high chance of always getting sick all the time. So there's
Really?
a lot of checkups on that, so I have to kind of redo it.
Wait,
It's
so
fine.
women have to pay
I'll sort it out
more?
eventually, but thankfully I'm at that
sucks.
point right now where I don't have that much to worry about. I'm very thankful to everyone that helped me at that time. I was such a mess, dude. I remembered like the thing that got me so embarrassed was I had a meeting with the accountant.
yeah, never buy
and I was
Gigabyte.
so scared.
I am never gonna buy anything beside Asus products. Like, that and something else. I don't remember what it is. But Asus is something else is the only things I'll buy.
that
Unless I get
just
sponsored or
blurted
some
everything
bullshit.
out.
I
I
don't
even
fucking
said
know.
like, listen, I'm gonna be so
For
honest.
now, I'm
I don't know if
hurt.
I could even pay you. Like, that's
Yeah,
true.
insurances are pretty
Like, I
brutal.
had to pay-
I'm paying a couple insurances for my apartment, for travel insurance, health insurance, and insurance on my loan. It's not that expensive. I mean, it's a little bit. Like, you got to pay a little thing a year and then something every month. It's not insane.
Pay the taxes, and I had to pay the lawyer, and I had to pay
I don't have a car.
my accountant, right? But
I felt attacked. Someone posted. I saw this on Twitter. Shy Lily responded with an angry cat, the rage emote. And it said that, I don't know who needs to hear this, but go get your driver license already. That pissed me off. Go get it.
I literally just blurted out. I was like, I have this to pay, I have that to pay. I don't have any money. Like, I don't know what to do.
Women in
blah,
US
blah,
pay more too.
That
That is so stupid because women in my country earn less money. Like, imagine you have to pay more. You have to pay more, but you earn less. This is dumb, man. The world is stupid.
you. And obviously my accountant was like, okay, calm down, calm down. You have to pay me, but calm down.
Mm.
Thank you for the gifted and the sub. Welcome to the scambership. Yippee!
Scammed.
I know. I'm too honest. When I get scared, I become so honest. But thankfully I could. I paid them off. We're fine. We're fine.
GG. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's a shame because, like, I know that all of the talents are so young. They're so young. So, like, and when I say young, they're in their 20s. It sounds like I'm an old man. I'm in my 20s too. But what I mean is that they're not like, they don't like have complete life experience. Like, they're not 30, 40 years old. They haven't like gone through different businesses and stuff. But like, outright, as much as I want to be nice and defend Niji Sanji many times, like, I look at them and they are scamming. They're doing so many illegal things. I feel like I'm very uncertain why the state or like the people managing taxes in Indonesia didn't just like take over and sue them themselves, because this is nuts. I'm 28, 22, 23 years old, have no clue what happened in life. Yeah, that's because you just put out there. It's kind of hard to know, right? Because you have to learn everything yourself. Man, my tracking is going nuts. Look at my mouth. Okay, we gotta end this, dude. This is insane. I feel bad though. It is very bad, but hopefully she can relax. It's up to her if she want to sue. I can't really tell someone to sue if they do, but like, in the end of the day, I'm very surprised that no lawyer or anyone else took over this case, because this seems like a free win. Seemed like a really free win. But yeah, interesting topic.